Welcome to the Season of Self-Love podcast. I am your host, Nyomi Banks, and I am thrilled to have you join me on this transformative journey. You see, every day we dive into a powerful conversation about self-discovery, healing, and empowerment. This podcast is brought to you by Ask Nyomi and Elevate Me Self-Discovery, where we believe that loving yourself is the first step to living a fulfilling life. You can expect insightful discussions, practical tips, and inspiring stories. Plus, we'll occasionally welcome special guests who will share their unique perspectives on self-love and personal growth. So get comfy, grab your favorite beverage, and let's embark on this journey together. Because it's time to embrace the beautiful person that you are. So let's elevate our lives one episode at a time. Now let's get started. All right, my beautiful people, well, welcome back to the Season of Self-Love podcast. I'm your host, Nyomi Banks, and today is Wisdom Wednesday. You know, we've been talking about the year of the rebirth is our theme for this year, and this month is all about one truth, a breakthrough, and one boundary at a time. You know, family, this month is all about living in your authentic selves. And listen, I don't know about y'all, but this series has been hitting deep. You know, this is my birthday month too, so you know I can't give it to y'all, right? All right, well, today's episode is especially powerful because we're talking about stepping into authenticity and reclaiming your true self, a theme that so many of us are craving right now. And I couldn't think of a better guest to walk with us through this than Tara Wiskow. Tara is a powerhouse intuitive energy healer and a life reinvention expert. But what I love most about her is her truth, her transparency. She's been through it. She has risen from it. Tara has lost 220 pounds naturally. Yes, you heard me. That's a whole body. That's a whole nother body. And her journey has been nothing short of transformational. So whether you've been hiding behind people pleasing or just silencing your inner voice or just feeling lost in your own life, this episode is for you. But before we bring Tara to the stage, we're going to take a quick break, all right? It's your girl, the God in Nyomi Banks, here on the Season of Self-Love podcast, and we'll be right back.
Washington Wellness Institute focuses on healing always. For me, if I look good, then I feel good. If I feel good, then I share the good. If I share the good, then I celebrate the good. If I celebrate the good, then I live the good. So I can be paid to be my greatest. But I have to learn the good to be the good.
So, what does it take to be the greatest? It's as simple as a free 15-minute consultation. Be kind to yourself and heal always.
Hey, it's your girl, the Goddess Nyomi Banks, and make sure you tune in every Thursday night to Ask Nyomi Bridging the Gap podcast, where we talk about everything from love, sex, relationship, cultural differences, and so much more. By bridging the gap between them all. And we even talk about spiritual uplifting. You need to stop by me and Dr. Mike, as well as the BTG crew. We have some amazing guests that come through. You never know. Just make sure you tune in Thursday night, 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Go to axnaomi.com and tell them Nyomi sent you. All right, my beautiful people. Well, welcome back. Hey, Tara.
Hello, how are you? And thank you. I have to say thank you for having me with you on this episode and this month. What an amazing month, all about authenticity. You're speaking my language. But back to my original question, how are you?
I am well. I am amazing. I am truly amazing. Thank you. I'm truly excited for this conversation. I really am. Really am. You know, this year is all about the rebirth for us in this whole year-long thing, and it's been an amazing. We're in the second half of this year, and I can truly say that it's been one. It's been a good one. It's been a good one. It's been yeah. So usually what we do before is we do a nice little guided meditation before we get into our conversation. All right. Is that all right with you?
I think that's amazing. I love it.
All right. Yeah. Thank you. All right, my listeners, you know how we do it. If you can just close your eyes to get into a comfortable position. All right. I want you to inhale deeply through your nose. filling your lungs with air. I want you to hold on for a brief moment. Now exhale slowly and completely, releasing any tension or stress. I want you to feel your body relaxing with each breath. Now, as you continue to breathe at your own pace, I want you to bring awareness to the present moment and feel the weight of your body grounding you to the earth. I want you to notice any sensation within your body without judgment, just simply observing. Take a deep breath in, drawing in peace and clarity. And I want you to exhale any distractions or worries that may be clouding your mind. With each breath, create space for insights and intuition to flow freely. Now envision a bright light at the center of your being, radiating warmth and wisdom. And with each inhale, allow this light to expand and illuminate your mind and spirit, and feel a sense of calm and serenity in you. Take one final deep breath in, embracing this moment of stillness and interconnection, and exhale slowly, carrying this sense of presence and openness with you as you move forward. So when you are ready, gently open your eyes and carry this feeling of mindfulness throughout your day. You are grounded, you are centered, and open to the insights that await. All right, my beautiful people, if you are new here to this Season of Self-Love Podcast, it's something we do every day, Monday through Friday, just to help ground us before we get into the topic at hand. All right, you ready?
I'm ready. I am ready.
Again, welcome. So let's go ahead and begin with your journey. All right, so your story is you lost 220 pounds naturally.
Yes.
This is so inspiring, and what I'm saying, because I've been on a yo-yo diet for about the past 10 years of my life.
Oh, girl.
But you know what? It honestly goes so much deeper than weight loss, and I know that it does. So can you share with us what led you to start this journey? And what did you discover along your way?
Oh my gosh, this is going to be a long podcast. We're going to talk about what I discovered along the way. It was a lot. So what led me to this? I started struggling with weight in my senior year of high school, and it led from actually having.
All right, Miss Tara. So let's go ahead and begin with your journey. Your story is you losing 220 pounds naturally. That is so impressive. But not only that, but I know it goes deeper than that. I've been on this up and down yo-yo diet for the past 10 years of my life. So can you share what led you to start this journey? And what did you discover while going through this journey?
Yeah. So what led me to start it? Honestly, I started to struggle with my weight when I was in my junior year of high school and started to put weight on, and it continued to progress for years, 3 pregnancies later, and I got to the point of 338 pounds. Now, just like you said, yo-yo dieting, trying to lose the weight, I had tried everything. Doctor prescribed, friend recommended, internet suggested. I had done it all, and I would successfully lose some, and then I'd put it back on. And I would not just put what I'd lost back on, I would put more than that, because as you said, it goes deeper than that. It's that internal being, that frustration, that disappointment, that shame, all those things that come, the emotional side of not just the physical, but the emotional. And so when I'd went through a divorce and I was now a single mom of 3 boys, 338 pounds, I started to realize that the mom that I was not the mom that I had made the commitment young in my life that I would be. My mom, I love my mom. I'm grateful that she brought me into this world and gave me life. She was very much somebody that was sedentary on the couch, and she wasn't present with us. She wasn't there to be out doing the things that us girls were doing. And so I knew I wanted to be the mom that was out, that was, getting I don't know, the grass stains on the pants and the rips in the clothes and out moving and grooving and being a boy mom, that was easy to be able to do if I was in that state of ability to do, which I wasn't. And so I became the park bench mama. I would go to the park, I would sit on the bench, and my boys would be out with all the other moms that were physically able to be present with them. And they would take them under their wings and do all those things. And one day I was deep in thought, thinking whatever I was thinking. I don't recall at this point what I was thinking. It was probably about 17 years ago. And I look up, and here are my boys looking at me, all three dirty faces, and everybody else is clearing out and leaving the park. And they wanted to play their favorite game. And it's a swing game. And it's a game where they're swinging and I'm running in between them. Everybody's aware of this game. I'm pretty sure everybody is. And so it went my oldest son, Trevor, youngest son, Tristan, middle son, Trey. That was the order of the swings. And I went by Trevor, and I got in front of Tristan and I tripped. And as I was falling, Tristan came swinging into me, and he bombarded into me with his feet. And that pressure and force of him hitting me flipped his 2-year-old body back, and he crashing into the ground. It knocked him unconscious and split his head open. Mm. In that moment, you know how they say, Nyomi, that the adrenaline that happens, you can lift a car up, right? I was running maybe, I don't even know if I could say 5 feet, and I had to stop and I had to catch my breath. Here I am with my unconscious 2-year-old in my arms, my older 2 boys, they're bawling, they're screaming, they don't know what's going on, and they're terrified. And I struggled to get my son to the vehicle and get him to the ER to have him looked at and taken care of. At the end of that whole ordeal, he had staples in his head, and he was very proud of the staples. He's a typical boy. All the boys have lollipops. They're good. And I'm going home absolutely crushed and broken. Not only did I let my body go, not only did I feel like going through a divorce and my relationship falling apart, I was not the mom that my boys deserved. And that led to eating disorders and then eventually suicide. The moment that shifted everything for me, the pinnacle moment, was my 3rd suicidal attempt and my middle son finding me and assessing the situation and asking me this question: are you going to die, mama? And I, because of what happened to me when I was 8, being found out that a huge secret had been kept to me about my identity, I swore I would never lie to my boys, regardless of the what I had to say, the meaning behind what I had to say. And so when I looked at Trey, I knew it was yes or no. And in that moment, all of a sudden I heard, Tara, you have got to learn to love yourself as much as you love these boys. And that was the moment where everything shifted. That was a pinnacle moment where I realized the one thing that I had not done in all the years of trying to lose weight was love myself. I had been mean. I had been hurtful. I had damaged my inner worth, my inner being. I had said terrible things to myself. I had not once loved the woman looking back at me in the mirror. I'd not accepted her. And so my response to Trey was, no, I'm not going to die. And that was a moment where I started to step forward, being my more authentic self than I ever had been in all of my life at that point. And I was 28 years old then. It was 20 years, a long time coming, that I would finally start to realize what it means to be authentic. That's what started my weight loss journey to losing 220 pounds.
Wow. That is so powerful. I'm over here in tears as you are speaking your story and sharing it. And thank you for sharing it, first of all.
You're welcome.
Wow. So let me share with the audience what I felt from her. What I was feeling is just to know that your baby boy is laying on the ground with his head wide open like that, and you see it and you want to be there quickly. Mm-hmm. But knowing that you can be the very reason why that baby is no longer here because you haven't done your due diligence as a mother, as a protector, as a,
Mhm.
and not only that is that the shame that you have for yourself, that you allow for all of this to take place when you knew that you kind of had control of it yourself,
Right.
it's just, that's a lot.
Mm.
That's a lot. And I felt every single bit of it all.
Mm.
What I do love about the story is that when you realize that, wait, hold on, I'm not even loving myself.
Right. Right.
That's something easy that we do forget, is because we do look at everyone else first. We do look at ourselves last. We the last.
Yes.
Um, what I've been hearing all year, through every different series that we have, is that we have to put on our oxygen mask first before
Yes.
we can help others. That for me this year has been stamped into my brain constantly
Mm.
over and over again. And that's why even you here with me today, that's another stamp for me to really, keep reminding me to pay attention when we do, when we try to do things for other. Is that right?
Mhm.
Is that what being in line with? Is that your authentic self? Are you truly supposed to be doing that?
Right.
I love that you was being honest and accountable of the mother that you wanted to be for your children and not the mother that you had. I
Right.
can echo you on that one. Well, my three babies are all 10 years apart, 10, 10, 10. So
Wow.
35-year-old, well, no, she's 33. One will be 23 and one will be 13. Each one of my babies are 10 years apart. And so each one of them got a different version of me,
Sure.
a different mother of me. So when you spoke that, I understood exactly. The first one, she got the 19-year-old with me. We were running, we was doing everything.
Yes.
Middle baby got the rich one. The rich one was full of work. And this one right here, she gets the one that's down, that I'm self-employed and I'm working all the time. So when
Yeah.
you talk about being present, I understood exactly what you meant. And I took that as a message for me, is that don't be so involved and indulged in what you're doing here, even though it's for good, that you
Yeah.
lose the presence with that little one. Yeah. So
Yeah.
thank you for that one. And I had
Mhm.
to take knowledge of that when I have amazing guests, co-workers, co-guests on here with me, and something hits me, I have to say it so my listeners can know, oh, Naomi just not speaking. I'm living through this journey right along with you all. And I thank you for that. I do.
You're welcome.
Yeah.
Well, and it's that awareness, right? The first step to anything changing is awareness. And so for you to be willing, to be open, to be aware of that, and then take that on, that's what will create the shift within you. And that's a piece of being authentic right there, Naomi, is you being willing to say, I need to do a checkup from a neck up because I feel something in what she's saying. And you allowed that to enter within you. And that's huge. That says that you've done that personal development to allow you to be aware of the shifts that need to happen for your own betterment, for you to feel better in your authentic space.
Yeah. Thank you for that. And I know what our listeners, when they hear you attempted 3 times to take your life, three
Right.
times to take your life. This is my question for you.
Sure.
Why did you think that you wasn't worthy to live?
Yeah.
Well, that's one question. There's another one. Why did you think that the boys were not worthy to have you in their life?
Yeah. My belief is that they could have better.
Mm,
That was the belief that I always had, somebody that would be enough. That is the biggest belief that I have struggled with, limiting belief, the majority of my life. And it stems from 8 years old, as I shared, that big secret that came out about my identity is I'm not good enough. I'm not smart enough. I'll never be enough. I don't have enough. The word enough has always been within my limited space of beliefs about myself. And so for me, thinking, this will sound really crazy to you and your listeners, and I've had to embrace it myself, but the first suicidal attempt where I wasn't successful, I thought I wasn't good enough to even be able to end my own life. I thought there was something wrong with me that I couldn't even succeed at that. I took it as a negative towards myself rather than seeing it as a rejoiceful moment to say, God has bigger plans for you.
Right.
You're meant for something more, but I internalized it as something wrong with me. So we'll try it again. And still something's wrong with you. So then we'll try it again. And it was that third moment of having it be intercepted by my son and hearing that download to know, girl, you are more than enough.
Yeah.
You're just approaching things in all the wrong way of living this life and being yourself and allowing yourself to be present. And for me, why did I not think that I was enough? Again, it's just me thinking that I wasn't a complete whole person.
Mm. Mm. And I hope this is okay when I ask you this.
Anything's okay.
You said something about 8 years old.
Yeah.
Whatever happened at 8, is that a part of what made you feel that you wasn't worthy?
Yeah. Yeah. I found out at 8 on my birthday, it was this time of year, as Easter, that I had a different dad, that the dad that I thought was my dad was actually my stepdad. And I had a biological dad and a whole nother family that were living 5 hours away. And when my mom was pregnant and he became aware, he said, abort it. It's not mine. I don't want it. And I did end up meeting him when I was 12 after going through such deep identity struggles, because as you can see, I'm dark hair, brown eyes. My mom and my dad, my stepdad, and my sisters are blonde hair, blue eyes. And at that moment, I started to see things like, wow, I do look different. I am different. Everything about me was different. And the moment that I met my biological dad was like looking in a mirror. Everything about me fit perfect. I mean, it was a glove fitting. And then he died when I was 15. And I felt like he abandoned me. I felt like he left me. I was only good enough to be in his life for 3 years. That was all I got. And then he would leave me. And so that was all of the identity shifting that I did, because at home, I felt like I had to be somebody different. When I say home, with my mom and my dad, which is my stepdad, I had to be somebody different to not be abandoned. And when I was with my biological dad and my sisters there, I had to be somebody different to not be abandoned. When I was with my friends, when I was anywhere, I had to be somebody exactly as they wanted, not my actual version, not my authentic self, because obviously my authentic self in the womb wasn't even good enough. So I was abandoned. Therefore, if I was with anybody in living space, they're not going to love me except me. So be somebody that they will want. Whoever they'll accept, that's who you choose to be.
Mm. That is so powerful. That is so powerful. Just even in the realization that you know that I wasn't even my authentic self with anybody, with no one, that I was not able to show my abandonment. So let me share something with you that we talked about abandonment. Was it late last year? One of those times. And I suffer from abandonment.
Oh.
But for me, with my abandonment, and I came to this realization, I said, I truly thank my abandonment because it helps build this amazing character and resilience that I have. And so when I'm listening to you and what you're saying, those 3 attempts that you made on your life, that was a steady resilience to keep building and building and building up for you.
Yeah.
But not only that, so that can be another layer, a part of your story. You know, so you can see the grit of with that, with this authenticity means for you in this life. You know what I mean?
Yes. Yes. Yeah. And I do see it now. You know, I used to have so much anger within me for the life that I lived. I used to think that God made 2 kinds of people: the beautiful, the skinny, the successful, the fortunate, and then me. I really believe that. And I always wondered why Why was I the one that didn't get to have good things in my life? And I now realize, I mean, none of that's true. And everything that I've went through has built me to be who I am. And it's allowed me, it's a blessing, because at the level that I can connect with women now and understand, there are very few women that can walk up to me and say, you'll never understand. And I can say, you're right, because I'll probably be listening and saying, oh, honey, I got you. I got you. And that gives me the ability to connect and for me to be so open and take them in and hold space for them and be able to just allow them to be vulnerable with me because I understand. I've got it. And that gives me a whole level of connection that I wouldn't have had I not went through the journey that I went through.
Yeah, that's beautiful. You know, when people say authenticity, she being real, she being off, you know, that's what is that?
Yeah.
So let's talk about it. Let's talk about what really authenticity is. That for you, what does it really mean to be authentic?
Yeah. It's so funny because in the beginning of me beginning to talk about authenticity, I really struggled with it. I had to go to the Webster Dictionary to be like, what is authenticity? Like, what does this mean? And I love food. So it's like, okay, so authentic Mexican. Oh, okay. Like, okay, I can bring this in now. So to be authentic is somebody that it's you. It is you. There are no masks. There are no hats that you wear. You don't have a hat for this group. You don't have a hat for this group. You have nothing but yourself showing up as you, wide open. For me, it's raw and real. Like when people say, talk about me, what they'll say is Tara comes with a whole punch of raw and real. That is her. And that's how I show up, is completely being myself regardless. Now, did I always? Oh my gosh, no, we've already talked about that. But now I'm coming in and I'm owning my space and I'm owning that space fully as myself. And you're not going to make me feel like I have to speak in a way that you're going to be okay with, or that I have to dress a certain way to be acceptable. I'm going to dress the way I want to dress. I'm going to speak the way that I want to speak. And I'm going to own my space because I deserve to own that space.
I love that, girl. That's tip.
Right. Took me a long time to get here, but I am here and I'm not letting it go.
You know, I love that. And why is because going on this journey right here, the season of self-love, let me say the season of self-love has allowed me to truly be so authentic. I remember when I first was told, when it felt like somebody was right here on my shoulder while I was sitting on my altar and said, you need to do this daily. Me do this daily? Am I wearing, what that look like? Do I need to go get a Bible? What do I need to do this? You know? And it was like, no, bring yourself.
Yeah.
Everything that you've learned through your journey, through your life, you being in the adult industry, you being a mother, you being a singer, everything that you went through in life, you bring it into this table, right here in this table, and allow people to eat as you eat. And I didn't understand that. But then as I continue to be my authentic self on the real and bringing other people in, it was just like, oh, so people don't care. They just want me for just me. I don't have to, speak very proper in my language. No, I can speak. If I can't pronounce a word and stutter over it, that's me. That's who I am. I don't have to switch code or any of those things. And when you are living, and I'm telling you, listeners, when you are living in your authentic self and you accepted every part of you, there's nothing that nobody else can say to you.
That is so true. That is so true. I had a mentor say to me, it's none of your business what anybody else says or thinks about you. All that should be in your concern is what you think and say about yourself. Exactly. And I really, truly think that is allowing yourself to be authentic, because you're letting any words or thoughts from anybody else fall away. And it doesn't penetrate you. You don't allow it to penetrate you because you're in full concern of what you're thinking and saying about yourself.
Yeah, exactly. It's funny. I remember when transitioning, leaving, I've been out of the adult industry for 13 years.
Wow.
But I still have fans and I still have people that will come and troll and say, so I have this whole, I'm on there talking about transformation and God. And someone would say, was you thinking about that when that was in your mouth? Like, really? Like,
Um,
really?
wow.
And I remember that used to offend me in the beginning. But then I said, well, that's where they met me at.
Right, right.
But that's where they met me at. So, I mean, why would I get offended? Because that was me on that film. And yes, I probably got an award for that, but that was me on that film. So how can you get upset from someone who doesn't see you? But
Right.
is it really them not seeing you? Is it really them not seeing you? And that's what I said. It ain't even my problem because I know who I am.
Yeah.
And
And
once go ahead.
I feel like when we decide to shift and really own our authenticity, people get really unnerved by that because they either are really envious or intimidated because you've got the strength within you, the empowerment within you to say, I'm owning this. This is me and I'm not allowing anybody to take that away from me. And they're feeling really insecure about themselves because they don't have that within them. And that's not because there's anything wrong with them. It's just they've not reached that level. And so like all of us at some point in our life do, they try to take you down to their level because then if they can just bring you down there, it makes them feel better about where they're at and makes them feel better about staying where they're at. Again, this is not shame. This is not blame. This is not judgment. I've been there. I've been that person. And so it's just the reality of what happens when we're changing. Or you no longer serve the purpose of what they want. For me, I've been a weight loss coach for 11 years, I'll always be a weight loss coach, but I'm shifting into the space of being the intuitive energy healer and moving into that because that's where I belong. That's my calling. And people are struggling with that because I'm no longer serving the purpose they want. And they're feeling like I'm abandoning them because I'm moving away, which I'm not. I'm not abandoning them, but they're feeling abandoned. And so that inner child is being triggered because their own childhood triggers are coming forward. Their own insecurities and needs of healing are coming forward. And me shifting and me changing is making them have insecurities that they don't know how to handle.
Oh, girl, that spoke.
Yeah.
That is so powerful because when you really think about it, I never really thought about it that way as of them feeling abandoned by what you were serving them in the beginning. I didn't think about it in that aspect. I thought about it because they don't see me humping up and down anymore. No, that's what you think, and I'm like, I want to give you a hug. Or I want to pray for you because I want you to get to where I'm at. But now that you say it, that is a sense of abandonment because in their heads, regardless, this is a relationship that they have with us. Whether you're a coach for weight loss, this was my relationship of watching Nyomi do these films or talk, be in this sense. She gave me a sense of, I don't want to say hope, but that I wasn't alone in this part of my journey, with it. So she just left me, just left me behind.
Well, and you gave them emotion, right? Like they felt some sort of emotion watching you in that film, doing the work you're doing. They felt emotion tied to you. And even though it's been 13 years, they're now seeing you in this different space and they don't know how to take that. Now they have different emotions that they don't know how to deal with. And they do feel abandoned because they're wanting that Nyomi back because that served a purpose that they needed. Right. And they're just not at your level. They're not at your level of where you are now. And they can't speak this language.
Wow. I just thank you for that because I just spoke my language on that one. I didn't get it before. I got it, but you just gave me another perspective on truly how to look at it. Because I have been, when I decided to truly start living in my purpose, it was all about, bringing in spirituality and sexuality in together and about healing in that process. Yeah. And I remember when I truly chose to okay, I'm going to leave my adult side away and really focus on my spiritual. I was so off balance because
Right.
that wasn't my true purpose. My true purpose was truly to be where I do speak about sexuality and spirituality and how both of them can be in the same temple, which is our body, and how we
Wow.
can be able to balance those and be whole. That's the whole thing with it. And I think it's been hard. Now let me say hard. It's been challenging for me until today. And you just
Mm.
something challenging to find that fine line to get those that's on the sexual side and those that's on the spiritual side to meet here.
Yeah.
We don't have to shame neither one of them.
Right. Right.
Neither one of them. Let's take religious out of it. Let's talk about spirituality. Let's talk about spiritual being. Let's talk about sexuality. Sexuality is a part of a spiritual being that we have inside of us.
Yeah.
These gifts and things that we have within us, that this is a part of our core.
Totally.
Yeah.
Yeah.
With
Yes.
all of that. Yeah.
And I love that you speak that. And do you honestly feel like had you not that prior career, if that wouldn't have been what you wouldn't be able to have these conversations. You
No.
had to experience that to
I had
bring
to.
it all together.
Yeah.
Like, and I love that. I love that you're putting that message out there. And if anybody can speak it and be trusted to know it, it's you.
Yeah. And it's when I think about it, when I joined and got into the adult industry, I was going through a divorce with my first divorce. And I had 2 kids. I was 30 something years old. So I was a grown woman making grown women decisions to get into this industry, left my other career, came into this industry, and everybody wondered why. I thought it was just going to be a money grab, honestly. It was a multi-billion-dollar industry. I figured, let me get familiar, put it into these different products and be gone. But in that process, I've learned so much stuff about myself, about the people that's in the industry, and about the people outside of the industry. I was able to look at life at a different perspective than I ever grew up. I grew up on the south side of Chicago. So from a very religious background, church every Sunday, part of the usher board, the choir,
Yes.
that. And so being in that, it allowed me to see it differently and go into it without judgment. Really, it did. Go into there more aware of what God is using me for. And I remember the prayer that I used to have in my car. And I said, when you are ready for me to leave, you will let me know. You will let me know when you are ready for me to leave. And sure enough, when it was time to leave, it was time to leave. And a few years later, here I am, on my podcast, speaking on Ask Nyomi. We talk about sex and relationship. I'm talking about spirituality over there. I'm having people read books and join this stuff. And I was like, let me dedicate a whole month to it. That turned out to be a whole podcast that I'm on daily.
Love it. Love it.
Mm-hmm.
That's all part of your journey. That's your authentic journey. Had you not followed that and done that, you would not be where you are doing what you're doing right this second. That's part of your authentic journey, is not denying yourself to do what feels right.
Yeah, that's beautiful. So let's get back to you. That first few pounds of that 220 pounds, what did that look like for you?
Oh my gosh. Some days I forget what that was like, and I never want to forget where I came from, because then I forget a piece of me. And so what was it like? I honestly thought it was just going to be another one of those situations where I'd lose 5 pounds and put it back on. So I wasn't really believing that it was actually going to work, though I knew that it felt different because I had a different energy about me, a different way of actually showing up and being committed to it. I saw the process differently. And so the first few pounds, it was hopeful to believe that it was actually happening. And after I actually had lost 25 pounds, I was so in the lack of belief that it actually could work for me that I've sat down with a friend and I said, I think that I'm sick. And she said, what do you mean? I said, I'm losing weight. I think I'm sick. I've lost 25 pounds. She said, Tara, you're eating healthy, you're drinking water, and you're walking every day. What are you talking about? I just had this belief that if it was good things were happening for me, something bad had to be brewing on the inside. Because remember, God made two kinds of people and I was the other one. And so it took me some time to actually sit with it and realize this is happening because you're doing the work, but because you deserve it as well. This is okay. You aren't somebody that is not deserving. And so as I continued through the journey, it became more exciting. It became more empowering. I started to love myself deeper. The hardest part was in the beginning of the process of learning to love myself was looking at myself in the mirror and speaking to myself differently. I never called myself Tara in the privacy of my own home, the privacy of myself. If I was out and people said, "What's your name?" I would say Tara. If they called me Tara, I'd respond. In a mirror at home, I would always say, "You are so fat, heifer Hannah." And no offense to anybody with the name of Hannah, but that was what I called myself. And after I made that declaration of loving myself down the scale, it was looking in the mirror and I would stand there completely naked and I would make myself look at my entire body and I would not allow myself to cringe. And I would bring my eyes back up to my eyes. And it took a while. And I would say, "I love you, Tara. I'm proud of you. And I am so glad that I get to be you." That was the start of it. That was the hardest part of it. And after that, once I start to embody the true love of actually loving who I was, the rest of it started to fall into place and the weight loss started to happen naturally. And I felt in love with the journey.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
That mirror work is something else, isn't it?
It is. I have my women do it and they hate every single second of it to start. And I know they call me names like none other, but they learn to love it. And it is so transformational.
It is. It's funny when you talk about talking to yourself. I say this all the time. I say I have great conversations with myself. I really do. I'll be telling girl, you need to go sit over there because you is really tripping today. And people are like, "Are you serious?" Yes, because you do have those moments where this trigger. And sometimes when you say, "Girl, you did that," like you did that, and you have to, because you have to think about how many times were you quietly speaking down on yourself. So you have to be loud in that celebration for yourself more than that quietness that you have inside of you. Yeah.
Yes. And no better place to do it in the mirror. That is like finally seeing you and loving you and accepting you, not just looking at the exterior and finding fault, but seeing who's inside and loving every bit of you for all reasons that you should be loving yourself.
Yeah. There was this exercise that I used to do in the beginning. I actually had told my listeners this but looking at yourself in the mirror, just see all the flaws, just butt ass naked, excuse me, and every flaw. And I used to thank each one of the flaws or the scrapes or the scratches or the what's the name, and thank them for that and remember why that's there. What did I learn from that? And that helped me to truly appreciate my journey. It truly helped me to go back to say, what did I learn from this?
Yes.
And
that
how
is
do I find it today? Yeah.
Thank you for sharing that. That is something that I've not done and I need to do that. Even though I love myself and I'm proud of myself, we can never not do enough of those exercises to strengthen that bond with ourselves. So thank you for sharing that.
Oh, you're welcome. Like I said, we get it from each other.
Yes. yes. It's a give and take relationship. Good. I love
each other. All right. So Tara, we are towards the end of this conversation. Is there anything else that you would love to share with our listeners, and also let them know where they can find you at? Go. The stage is yours.
Yeah. I guess what I would say if I were to leave some big nugget of information is knowing that every single day that you wake up, if you just take a second to pause before you go about your day. And I know that you've heard it before, so I won't grind on the whole phone thing of leaving your phone to the wayside, but just take a moment to be present with yourself and ask yourself who you're going to show up as today. Who will you show up as today? And what's her name? When you claim your name, that is where you get to your most authentic space. And every morning when I sit on the edge of the bed and I say, who am I going to show up as today? And I say, Tara, that brings me into the core of me. And it makes me pause and ask, how would Tara show up today? And that allows me to take my first step as me, not who my husband would like me to be, not who my boys would prefer me to be, or my dogs or my chickens or the rest of the world. I'm taking my steps out of that room as me every single step of the way. And that's a very strong path to start your morning right away. And it follows you. It follows you. And then I would say the next thing I'd ask you to do is some power statements in the mirror. Very first thing, I love you. I'm proud of you. Whatever statement you need, including your name, that will continue yourself through the rest of the day being fully, transparently your authentic self. And if you've enjoyed this conversation, I know you've enjoyed Miss Nyomi, but if you've enjoyed me as well in this space, you can definitely find me. I'll just be authentic, raw, and real and say it's kind of a crazy journey of finding me on social media, but that's what happens when you're an identity coach, because Instagram's algorithm is very confused for the years that you've been confused of who you are. So you have to start a new page. This new page is fully me, and I love it. So at Tara.Wiskow, the little period side in between it is where you can find me on Instagram. And on TikTok, it's just going to be straight up Tara Wiskow, or my website is www.tara_Wiskow.com.
Beautiful. I think this has been so enlightening. This has been so much fun. It really has.
Yes. Thank you.
It's been so much fun. This is good. This is good. All right, my beautiful people. All right. So let me tell you, family, I want y'all to go back and I want y'all to re-listen to this episode. Because there's been a lot of gems that were dropped, not only for myself, but for you all from Tara today. And I think it's been amazing. I thank you for coming across just my whole feed. And I'm so glad that we have crossed paths. I really am. I think this is amazing. Man, your journey has been amazing. You are just such a bright light. Really
Thank
beautiful.
you.
Beautiful, just beautiful. And to my listeners, I want y'all to don't forget that to go get the workbook, the Year to Rebirth Workbook Part 2. We have a bunch of pages in there that's all about authenticity, your journal prompts, affirmations. You know how we do it. And again, Tara, thank you for joining me. I had so much fun just sharing your life, just everything. This has been great. I want y'all to make sure that y'all connect with Tara online and check out her She Rises program, right?
Yes.
She Rises is very transformational.
I love it.
All right, my beautiful people. Again, have an amazing, amazing day. And I want to thank you just for just showing up for yourselves. All right. Have a good one. Bye-bye. Thank you for joining us on this journey of discovery and empowerment here at the Season of Self-Love podcast. Remember, embracing self-love is a continuous journey, and we're so glad to have you with us. So if you enjoyed today's episode, please leave us a review. And don't forget to join our community on Facebook at Season of Self-Love. Connect with like-minded individuals who are also on their self-love journey. Now, if you have any questions or topics that you'd like for us to explore, we love to hear from you. Email us at seasonofselflove@gmail.com and let your voice be heard. So until next time, take a moment for yourself today and remember, you are worthy of love, joy, and all the beautiful things that life has to offer.